Okay, so at this point, on the neck and on the body, I have about 5 coats of polyurethane that I've applied to it. In fact, this is what it's looking like right now. Um, it has just a really nice shine to it. Um, and I think we're just about there. I'll probably put 2 more coats um, on the neck. Um, it's darn near glass smooth, but I think I'm going to just do 2 more coats just because I want to. Um, and then on the body, there's a few little things I got to work out. A few little spots I need to sand and then go back over, and that will probably go 2 more coats as well. Um, so I want to show you. In fact, hold on. I need to adjust this. Um, I just want to kind of go over one more time of exactly what I'm doing and how I got to this process. Um, very easy, very straightforward. So, as before, you have your neck, it's all prepped, ready to go. Um, what I'll do is I'll use these gray 3M finishing pads and go over it like so, just to make sure there's nothing on it, any dust or any nibs or anything like that uh, from it drying. And then I'll do a test and just kind of run my hand over it and see if there's any little oddities. Like there's one right here. I can feel it now. What you can do with that is get your trusty 400 grit sandpaper and just lightly go over it. And that's it. Don't go hard into it or else you start taking off the finish. You don't want to do that. You just want to get any little imperfections that you may feel. In fact, there's already a couple I've already done up here to knock down. And that's it. So once again, take my poly, make sure you give it a good shake, just so stuff isn't settling on the bottom. Get your little disposable bowl, and then, like I said, clean t-shirt, fold it over, and then what I'm gonna do, kind of make things easy, is I have my hanger here. I'm gonna do it like this. And just for grins, in fact, so I don't forget. After sanding or anything like that, just give it a quick wipe down, get any dust off it. Now you can use tack cloths. I used one, but I'm not leaving a lot of residual stuff behind, so it's easier for me just to use a cloth. For anyone else, your mileage may vary, but I used tack cloth a couple times, and it seemed like it was leaving more of a residue on the piece left behind than taking anything off. So just wipe it off with a clean rag to get it ready for the next coat. So here we go. Nicely saturated. And that out of the way. That's it. Just wipe it on. Don't try and go over it. Don't brush it on per se. Just make sure it's rubbed on one long continuous stroke. Normally, normally I'd be wearing gloves, but once again I forgot. So, but wear your gloves just to be on the safe side. That's it. Um, Pretty darn simple. So we'll take this. I'll hang it to dry. And that is it for that. So now with the body, same thing. Now you can probably see there's a few blemishes here. This is where I previously sanded. Once again, I passed my hand over it, looking for any kind of rough spots that are detrimental to the way I want it. That's just the way it is. That's not a big deal. But if you feel anything that's just not right, you can first try this. Try your finishing pads. But if you still have a little something that bugs you, just hit it lightly. That's it. So, wipe it down. More on. There you go. It's that simple. And then follow the instructions. You can recoat after about 2 or 3 hours after letting it dry. Now, of course, it's going to depend on the conditions and weather conditions and things like that. Most of the time, I've been able to recoat after about 3 hours each time. Without having any kind of issues. And then once I do the final last coat, I'll completely let it dry and cure for about 24 to 36 hours. And from that point on, I can kind of do light duty with it, which will be installing everything. We'll get to the fun part, getting everything installed. So there you go. That is really the extent. That's really the extent of doing the wipe-on poly. Really simple, really easy. The results so far have been fantastic. Better than I could even dream of at this point. I'm not a big spray can guy. I tend to make more of a mess than actually do a good job spray painting things. So it's nice to kind of go with this route and not have to worry about it. Now this, what you're probably seeing over here, these are also finishing pads. This is the initial stuff to kind of, like I said, knock off any of the dust nibs that might be on it. If you need something a little heavier, go with the 400 grit, but don't go balls out on it and take off a lot of the finish. Just get whatever you need off. And then to finish the whole thing up, I'm going to be using these guys. These have just about no abrasion to them at all, but I will use it to kind of buff out the finish. Now, once again, I'm going with a satin finish. I'm not trying to have a high gloss by any means, but you still gotta buff it out once you're done with it. And then once that's all finally finished and done, we'll finally get to the good stuff. We'll install the pickups, install the wiring, get the hardware on, get the hardware on the neck, and we'll start moving a little bit more efficiently. So there you go.